Hey everyone, Red here, and I'm going to walk you through my user interface. I've been asked very many times about it. So let's start down the bottom right. This is SexyMap. It's an add-on that a lot of people use. I like it because it allows you to hide all of the buttons so they only appear when you hover over the map. You can also make it look square or any other kind of shape, and you can put little decorative borders around it. One of the other things I use if I cast a healing spell on me is scrolling combat text. The only thing I use it for is displaying heals on myself, and you can see that these I've set to arc round into my name. And that nameplate at the bottom there is part of Pitbull, and I've spent a few hours setting up Pitbull. I've done a tutorial in the past on Pitbull. This is Pitbull version 4. It takes a little bit of time to get used to it. There are quite a few tutorials online. I recommend you go and have a little look. So the other thing that I've got is something called Baudbag, and that lets you open your bag as a one bag and also view the contents of your bank. At the top right I have Citrina buff frames. This is again another very good ad. It takes about 10 minutes to learn how to use it and set up your buffs. I also have a tooltip add-on called TipTac, which lets me move my tooltip, and at the top there you can see that's where I hide my little mini menu. The other thing I use is KgPanels. I've also done a tutorial on this previously. So I've used it to create a bunch of artwork, and that's what I have as the bars at the bottom, and you can see I've got several different versions that I use for different characters. By the way, I'm hiding the Real ID logins, if that's why you're wondering, that big black border at the bottom left with the text on it. So you can see that's very easy to set up if you follow my tutorial or look at other tutorials online, and it does let you create some pretty cool custom artwork on the screen. So I mentioned that Pitbull was my unit frames, so I've used Pitbull version 4, and if I show you what my 25-man raid lookout, you can see here. So all of the sort of large coloured boxes above the names are where my buffs and debuffs appear, and I've got my focus bars, my raid frames and everything all set up within Pitbull. So this is Power Aura's Classic, fantastic mod, and this is how I display my combo points. So you can see it's very easy to set up. You set up individual textures. I've used a little paw symbol to create textures for my combo points, and these are some of the other things that I have, like Tiger's Fury and Berserk and Clear Casting as procs, and I use those as on-screen visual effects. And I believe I've been told that in Cataclysm, Blizzard are adding a Power Auras like feature to the game. The other thing I use is ClassTimer. I use this on my Druid and a number of other classes to look at the debuffs that I place on mobs and bosses. This is Bartender 4. Bartender 4 I've talked about in previous videos, and you can see that this allows you to create your own button bars and also very easily create your own key bindings. So you can see I've got controls and shifts and numbers and letters. Keybind is very easy to set up for that. I've also got something called Chatta. Now, Chatta lets you cut and paste, which is the window I just opened. It lets you to scroll with your mouse, and Chatta also lets you attach the edit box, which is where you enter text, to the top of the screen, or in fact anywhere on the screen you want, so you can have it tucked away down the bottom left without having a massive chat window. You can also turn on and off timestamps. Mouse will scroll the text rather than having the arrow keys, and you can also turn off the annoying whisper windows that open up with the recent update to World of Warcraft. So those are pretty much the basics. If you raid, then I recommend that you get a few other different add-ons as well. So one of the other add-ons that I have is called ItemRack. So here you can see on the mini-map, it lets me switch my gear into sets very simply. You could of course use the Blizzard interface, but I prefer ItemRack. So I've got everything from PvP to tanking to battlegrounds to my DPS gear all set up instant changes using ItemRack. Very, very straightforward and very easy. One of the other things that's very useful in raids or heroics is called Omen, and Omen is a threat meter. I also use something called OmniCC, which shows the cooldowns left on my buttons. Omen you can set up to do pretty much anything you want and look how you want, so spend about half an hour messing around with Omen settings. I use Omen version 3.09. I use something called ButtonFacade, and this lets you change the shape of your buttons, and I use a button facade called Apathy. One of the other things I use is Recount, just to look at damage done or to analyse what I'm doing within a raid. So I have Recount tucked down at the bottom left. It's currently hidden by the Real ID logins black border that I've placed there to hide the real names of some of the people that are logging in. There goes a login. Okay, so that's pretty much the basics of my user interface. Cheers guys, bye.